Hello everyone, this is Ray. In this video, I want to show you a new add-on that is currently working. This add-on is one that is used for the guild traders, and the name of the add-on is called UnknownFilter. Let me demonstrate to you what it does before we go in deeper, and you can decide whether you want to stay on and listen a bit more. So for example, if we just want to look for consumables, for some furnishing plans, right, that we want to discover. Usually we have to go through this and then just look for the items with the green colored jigsaw icon on the left. For example, this dark elf wardrobe, right? So this is just one way that you are supposed to use it without any additional help from any add-on. This add-on gives you a new filter for you to remove or hide from view everything on the screen that you have already learned. So at the bottom, you see after the buy item, you have circle for back, square for preview, hold square for search for item, and you have additional filter off. So when I press the L3 button, this gives us different kinds of filters, right? Let me go through them one by one. We have gear, learnables. Learnables will encompass the furnishing plans and recipes, motif, and collectibles, which will include the rune boxes, style pages, and certain fragments, right? So this is without the filter, and with the filter, let's have it for this. It will just show you only the things that you have not yet learned on your character. You can test this. You can bring this filter to the next trader and do the same. This will be over here. This person, let's just do a search, right? Again, all of the results will be only the unlearned things. And one more, right? Only the unlearned things, right? So if this interests you, you can stay and listen. Otherwise, thank you for dropping by to listen. So let me get into the details of this. The name of this add-on is called UnknownFilter, right? We can view it from the guild traders and vendors category. If you don't use any category selection and go by the default, this will be your usual way that you discover or see the screen when you first enter the menu. It will be the list of just the top 100 add-ons that are most popular, ranked by users, right? Any add-on that has less than 544 users as of this moment will not be shown on the screen, because basically this is just a limitation, right? Even if I try to filter by name, we see under the section for U, there is only Undaunted Daily. There is no other add-on with the letter U beginning with the letter U. So we have to go into the category section, which is to the right of browse or add-ons. You have the search bar here. You can go into the all categories. You can also type in UnknownFilter, but if your spelling is incorrect or there's an extra space somewhere with some spelling errors, then you will also not be able to discover it. So the easiest way without having to resort to any typing is go into the category, select nothing but just guild traders and vendors. With this toggled on with a white square box, you press circle to refresh the screen. And once it's refreshed, then you will be able to see just the add-ons pertaining to guild traders and vendors, right? So over here we have just a handful, right? Awesome Guild Store all the way to W, a read cost calculator. And the name of this add-on is called UnknownFilter, with just 109 users at the moment. All right, so what does this add-on do? This is a simple guild store filter that hides already known items so that you can focus on learning new recipes, motifs, and furnishing plans. So what it does is it adds an additional filter to the guild store menu, right? It doesn't add the option anywhere else. It only appears when you interact with the guild trader and have the screen to search for things, right? So this will be again for recipes, style pages, finishing plans, motifs, rune boxes, those kinds of things. So this add-on was first released around the 10th of August. When it first got released, I tested it. It wasn't working then. There wasn't any button for you to press to do the filter. And even with the mentioned console command /UF, nothing would happen either. But as of the current version, 0.2.4, the add-on is functioning. There is no additional setting that you need to meddle with. Right? When we back out of this into the add-on submenu, right, between social and activity finder, there will be no additional toggle for you to choose, right? It's just on by default. To turn it off, I guess you have to press /UF, but it doesn't matter because you only see this option when you interact with the guild trader anyway, right? So for to minimize any chance of conflicts happening, I have not enabled a whole bunch of add-ons. The only ones that I'm currently using for this video would be the minimap and also the TSC price fetcher. All right, so let's test this. All right.
Can I help you?
All right, interacting with the vendor again, we make sure that we have the sort of the default, right? And everything is working as per usual. You know, all items, you can just do your usual settings. So just to orientate you in case you haven't used the guild trader very much or haven't used it before, over here you have a text box where you can press X and you can do a free text entry of the item. There is a filter here to filter for different kinds of things. The default will be for all items. And then there's a price range that you can filter for between 1 and 2.1 billion, and a quality filter, right, to filter for the different color of the item. So, for example, let's say we are looking for maybe some furnishing plans, right? We can go into the consumable section, and it will give you a secondary submenu and to show for all consumables and motifs, potions only, recipes, food recipes, rune boxes, collectibles, that kind of thing. So we can go for all consumables. And when we just do a rough search, right, just filter, it will show you everything, right? And this is very tedious to look. So what we need to do is start to drill down to the exact thing that we're looking for. We were looking for furnishing plans, right? So let's go and toggle this on just for furnishing plans. Still too many results, right? And we can test this now, right? Because we should be seeing some results of things that we can still discover and learn. On page 3, we see some Dawnwood chests, antlers, a purple one, and I think I saw another one up here, a blue one, Tide Bond Totem, medium. On page 2 and page 1, there was nothing, right? So let's try the filter, and I will demonstrate how this can be used before we go there, right? Just refresh this one again. What was the price of the thing on page 3? The price of the thing on page 3 was, okay, 10K, right, 10K, right. So let's try to do the filter, right? So we switch this to learnables, right, and we press square, right? We see nothing's happened, all right. So this is one limitation of the add-on, right? For it to work, the discoverable unlearned things must appear on at least page 1. If it doesn't appear on page 1, if page 1 is everything that you already know, there is no page 2 that the add-on will be able to toggle to, right? We know that the result will be on page 2, but if there's nothing in page 1, then the the L2 and R2 buttons will do nothing. As long as there's something on page 1, you can keep using the page toggle to the next page, and basically what the add-on does, it will hide the things that you have already learned for that character. So let's do a bit of refinement on the search, right? So we'll back out of this. We can do a bit of refinement by changing it in terms of price, so that we filter out the very cheap items, right? Maybe up to page, let's go with just 5K for now, right? We know that the first hit that we did see that we could learn, for something that we could learn, was at 10K, but we'll start with 5K first, right? So we see 2 items on the result, right? And this is Tide Bond for 10K and Donwood Chairs for 13K. And at the bottom middle, just above the filter, do you see the L2 and R2? On the R2, the icon for R2 is brighter, is a brighter white than the darker shaded out L2. So this means that we can toggle to the next page, right? Let's do that, toggling to page 2. And page 2, you have a list of things. Also, all of these are the furnishing plans that I have not yet learned on this character. Right? And is there another R2 at page 3? There is a page 3, right? There's a page 3, right? Even a page 4, and there's no page 5, right? There is no page 5. Wow, Red Guard sensor for 2.2 mil, expensive, very expensive. But according to TSC price checker, right, 2.2 mil is average. And someone probably didn't understand what they got and sold it for 25K. Well, a lucky buyer and unlucky seller, right? Right. So again, I have to repeat. One of the limitations of this add-on is that if there is no hit with sort of a result that you know, something that you have not yet learned on page 1, you will not be able to toggle to page 2. So to overcome that, you have to narrow down the searches down a bit more, right? Another thing that I've seen while trying this out, right? When we are searching for consumables, there is an option to go with all consumables, right? And then supposedly it should include every single thing in this list, right? However, I found that, and maybe some of you already know this, right? This will be all consumables except for motifs. Somehow they have excluded the whole group of motifs from the all consumables selection. So in order to search for motifs, you have to select motifs, right, to make them appear. So let's start with that, right? We will start with this, and we will reset the filter to show for everything first, right? So we start off from 5K. Hopefully we see some hits on page 1. Nothing in page 1, page 2. Also nothing, page 3. Right now I'm just scanning the for the green colored jigsaw puzzle icon. Page 4, right? Page 4, and it starts at 18K for the Tide Bond bows. So, right, as we expect, if we turn on the filter to filter for motifs, because there was nothing on page 1, when you press square to submit this filter, nothing will appear, right? We will see nothing, right? Because the search result appear on page 4. So let's do a bit of adjustment with the filter. Since the first result was 18K, we can maybe go with narrow the result maybe to 17K first, starting from 17K, and then we will search, right? And we see first hit on page 1, type on, and there is an option to toggle to page 2, right? R2, page 2. We see the blind path cultist daggers, right? Just a few hits. Recollection and blind path. We have a page 3, again, recollection and blind path. Militant ordinator comes up again. And nothing on page 4, right? Page 4, there was probably some other items, but it's gone there, and then you don't even have the option to turn back the page anymore, right? Okay, so that is the demonstration. Now I will talk about certain bugs, right? How we're going to use this. You might have noticed that when I was doing the filter, I was doing a bit of a switch back and forth between the browse and select, browse and cell screen. And that is because if you did the changing of the L3 filter on this screen, the game will bug out. So let me demonstrate this. Let's say we go back to all consumables, right? All consumables. Maybe go back to 5K instead. What did I change? Maybe go back to 10K. Okay. My mistake too. I forgot to change the filter, right? So it's trying to look for things that are impossible to find, right? What's the filter that we have from the default game system? Right? And it excludes motifs. I've said that before. But my add-on filter was filtering for motifs. So therefore, in this search result, naturally, there should be 0. We will not be able to find anything because all consumables excludes motifs already, right? So I will do a switch to show for everything, right? And let's then put on the filter, right, to search for any learnables. Page 1, nothing. Maybe let's go a bit higher. Also nothing. So this was learnables. Consumables, correct. Yep, consumables. Let's turn off the filter to see what happens. I think, okay, what happens is, again, because we were filtering for all consumables, right? This included all the potions, which we did not want, right? We just want to look for furnishing plans. So let's go with furnishing plans, which was what I was trying for, but they didn't mention. So this will be furnishing plans. There should be something, at least on the first page, we see some. Now, right, with this page on, now we can have the filtering working, right, without any of the other items showing, right? So, okay, now talking about the bug again, right? Once we have the list of items, right, showing, for example, we were starting on without the add-on filtering, right? Let's say you wanted to immediately filter it. This add-on is unable to do a live refresh of the screen, right? So, for example, you were thinking, oh, okay, I see some items with the green jigsaw piece. I see some without, right? So we want to just filter this immediately, right, by pressing one button. So what I do in my mind, I'm supposed to press the L2 button, right? However, that's not what happens, right? Because what you were trying for was a live refresh, which this add-on is unable to do. You can see at the bottom of the screen, all the text is garbled, right? And let's say if you just went through and, okay, I can barely make out the word learnables below, that is superimposed with the other button there. Let's press square and see what happens, right? We immediately get an UI error, right? So with this UI error, just take note, UI error is just a temporary thing. It is not a save error. It will not glitch your game. It will not glitch your save file, right? Basically, you will be in a state where you can either dismiss or reload. If you reload, you'll be fine, right? But if you dismiss and you press X, then you'll be locked into a state where you cannot do anything, right? There is no menu. When you press the options button, nothing happens. You're almost in the screenshot mode thing, but you will not be able to move your character at all, right? Pressing the map button 2 times does nothing. Pressing the options button does nothing, right? So don't press X to dismiss. You have to press square to do a reload UI. If you have a keyboard, you can press enter and then start typing in reload UI. If you don't have a keyboard, then unfortunately you have to shut the game down, right? So just take note. Do not do dismiss. When the game prompts you for reload UI in the UI error, please press square, right? Press square. Right, so that's the only major bug to talk about, the UI error, right? So to prevent that, right, what you need to do is when you are in the menu to look for things, let's do a refresh on the screen, right? Right, so going back in the browse menu, right? So we have currently the filter, the add-on filter for learnables, and then the system filter for consumables and furnishing plans, right? Right. As long as you are on this screen where you can toggle the filters, right? And when you press L3 on the joystick, right, the text doesn't bunch up. And you have the option to press square to submit, then you're fine. So as I said before, you cannot do a live refresh. You can only do a query refresh, right? Do a query refresh. You can either do that by pressing circle to get back away from the toggle in the center panel to the side, right? This is center panel. When I press circle for back, it will go back to the side panel, right, for the filter, right? The other way would be using the R1 and L1 to switch the menu to go back into the filter panel on the left, right? Never ever go and try to do a filter while you're hovering in the center results section. When you do that, you will enter a phase where you could get into that UI error. Okay, let's say you did it anyway, right? You forgot, and then you try to do a filter while you were in the center panel, right? And you can see all the text bunched up. All you need to do is don't press square, right? Don't preview, don't try to search. You can either do R1, L1, or I believe we can still go and do a back, right? If we do a back, we can still get back to the menu where we can do the filter selection, right? And when you press L3, right, the toggle will still work, right? So we are doing collectibles. Let's go back and forth again. Collectibles, nothing. What we were doing? We were doing maybe this is too high, maybe. Okay, let's see. Consumables, furnishing plans, 10K. Okay. Back, forth, and then toggle to off. Okay, 10K. And then have to press back, right? Go back into this part of the menu. Toggle for learnables and press square, right? So basically what it does from this experience is, again, it sort of semi-remembers your last search results, right, that you saw on the screen before, and then filters that, right, sort of, in a way. You could say that you can also bring over this entire filter, right, including the system filter and the add-on filter to another vendor, and it will still work. But yeah, there are some little I guess caveats to getting to this to work. All right. Okay, so one last thing. little tricks that you can use to help with your filtering, right? Number one, because we know that the add-on will not work if there were no unknown items on the first page. So filtering is very important. Some things that you can do to help your filter be a bit more efficient would be using the submenus. Remember that the all consumables includes everything in the list except for the motifs, right? So it even includes the food items. So if you were looking for recipes, it might be a better idea to use the text search here to help you do some filtering. So that will help narrow down the results a bit more, right? So while we're on the screen, let's do the toggle for filter off, and I will talk about the various filters that we can use to help us narrow things down. So for example, if you're just looking for recipes to learn, things that you have not learned yet, type in recipes, IES, space, and colon, right? And you can have all consumables and all consumables. Oh, okay, maybe I had that wrong. Okay, my mistake. All right, so it's recipes, colon, and space, I think. Okay, wrong also. Or maybe recipe. Okay. Scratch that. Maybe, let me go. Maybe I got the spelling or the syntax wrong. So this is very particular, right? You have to be very careful about the syntax. RECIPIE. Okay, that should be okay. RECIPE. I think maybe my spelling was incorrect. So if your spelling was incorrect, again, it will not work, right? As I demonstrated earlier negatively, right? So this is recipes, right? This will just show you for recipes, and you can even just use this on all items, right? And it will show you all recipes, right? All recipes. Okay, the other one would be motifs. If you were searching for all kinds of motifs, you can either use the submenu or just type in motif, right? 1696 name matches, right? This will show you everything. Let's say if we go for this instead, 1696, right? That was the previous number that we found by typing in the word motif. It should be the same. Oh, it doesn't give you that option. Maybe if we type in another one. Okay, so this is another one that I tend to use quite a bit. What you do is you do the colon and space. Right, colon and space will toggle for the items that usually are the things that you learn on your characters or for your accounts if it's style pages or rune boxes, right? So, there's a bit of difference, right? Previously, when we used the word motif, we will see what 1696, and we have 1694 now, even though all the other options are kept the same. Let's try that again. That's interesting. 1694 versus MOTIF and all items. 1696. Interesting. I wonder what the other two are because of these two. All right. Glass style motif fragment and Vulcan style motif fragment. So technically not motifs by themselves, but they include the word motif in. So that's why they appeared in the search results. Right. So when you use the filters, it's a good idea to go same type, right? Same type in the system default search items. So for example, if you're looking for just motifs, right, go for consumables, go into motifs, right? And then in the add-on, go and do the same, right? Filter for motifs, right? And then do the search. If you see nothing, then you just press back, and then you maybe start filtering by price, right? So that you see just the motifs that you are interested in knowing, right? And you can bring this filter to another trader and search there too. Right, this only has one. So this vendor has a bit more. Let's search again. Was it this one? Yep, has a bit more. What if I lower down to 5? Will we push some entries to page 2? Nope, not this. Okay, not here. Right. Yep. So, yeah, I think that's about it. If you have questions, feel free to just send me a message on PlayStation. It's Raystorm Musa, RAYSTORMUSA. Let's see if I can find out my character description here. Oh, it's not even here on the screen. Anyway, yep. That's it for this video. Hope you have fun and have a bit more visibility in the unknown furnishing plans, motifs, or style pages. All right. See you next time. Thank you.